So I'm out of San Francisco now, down by the beach, talking to John. John, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm John Sumser. I'm the editor of the HR Examiner. I run an analyst shop called HRxAnalysts, and I've been looking at and commenting on the state of electronic recruiting and electronic HR for about 20 years now.
Which makes you the perfect person to ask this first question, which is, what's on your radar recruitment innovation-wise at the moment? What's going on? What's out there? What's interesting?
So what's really interesting, you know, innovation doesn't come from inside of recruiting. There's no such thing as innovation in recruiting. Innovation comes from outside. And we're right now in kind of a saturation place where there's a ton of innovation that the evangelists are all really excited about that companies aren't actually using. So social recruiting, for all of its bluster, isn't actually being used by anybody. The infographics that you see are all wrong. People don't know how to do social recruiting, and they're still trying to figure it out. And there's some pretty important reasons for why that is, but the biggest one is that companies are set up to control the distribution of technology from the top down, and social media comes from the bottom up, and that's creating quite a headache inside of a lot of companies.
That makes sense. Just turning my phone off there because it's ringing at the most inappropriate moment.
I thought it was for me.
And I think that's really interesting. One of the things that maybe comes off of this that I've been talking to a lot of people about this week, but we were talking about this last night, is the concept of an employment brand. How does that exist in this day and age? What are your kind of views on that?
So the hardest thing I think to get about an employment brand is it's a complement to a regular brand, not a subset of the regular brand. So if the regular brand is unitary and monolithic and one set of stories and values, the employment brand is local and distributed and related to this job in this city, rather than the primary factor being the name of the company that you're working for. So the way that you do employment branding is very grassrootsy, as opposed to traditional branding, which you can do in a top-down way. And
do you think any companies have got that from a recruiting perspective? Is there anyone who's doing it that way? Because what I see are lots of companies who are going for this kind of holistic brand statement that covers them in all locations and all disciplines, which I don't think is right. Are there any companies out there that are sort of truly embracing that?
I think not intentionally, but I think some companies are better at it than others. So McDonald's, for instance, does a great job of recruiting locally and having a story to tell about what it means to work locally, and tailoring its comp and benefits packages so that they meet the needs of people in the local neighborhood. So if transportation's hard, they provide busing. And they work because they understand that attrition is part of employment today. They work hard to make sure that the people who work there tell a good story when they leave, and that may be the most important thing that you can do in employment branding, is make sure that your people tell a good story when they leave.
Yeah, I certainly agree with that. Final question. Mobile, what is it important? What's happening? What effect do you see the growth of mobile and smartphones having on recruiting in the next few years?
So what's really interesting, this is both similar and completely dissimilar to the advent of the web. Mobile technology is the seventh mass media, and it is powerfully important. It's not a little thing, it's a really big thing. And it is today being used in virtually every white-collar recruiting transaction. How do people answer email today? Well, if you are a white-collar worker in the United States, Europe, Japan, you have a smartphone and you process your email on your smartphone. So recruiting is mobile. Now, What isn't mobile is a single unified way to interact with company X, and the people who are deeply excited about and having mobile recruiting conferences think that mobile recruiting means that people have a single way of doing it, and that's probably wishful thinking. People are doing it. People are doing it at the grassroots level on cell phones. There's a great company called People Matter that has a voice-enabled system for restaurants and hospitality. And really, everybody who has been in a hiring process whose white collar has processed the email and appointments for their recruiting process on their phone already. So it's essential to recruiting today.
Thank you very much, John.
Sure.
Thanks for talking to me.
Yeah, nice talking to you.